So, what are our culture's ideas about Christianity? I'm just going to make statements here, and you can agree or disagree. I think I have a valid point for all these, but this is what I believe our culture's ideas are about Christianity. It's irrelevant, it's outdated, and has no real answers to today's issues. What is our culture's ideas about the Bible? It's a dated text written by ancient, ignorant people who lived in huts. They didn't have technology or Google, so it's not relevant. It has nice stories and good examples, but you can't fully apply it to all of today's situations. What is our culture's ideas about those who hold to the Bible as the primary source of authority? You fundamental Bible-thumping, ignorant people. What do they believe about the Bible, those people? They're narrow-minded. They're shallow. They're too black and white for today's complex issues. Today we live in a very complex society with all different ideas. We live in an information age to where we're all sharing our unique perspectives on the world, and you are so narrow-minded and black and white that you're just blind to see that. And so you holding to the Bible, you just can't really do that. Well, what do they believe about the narrative of America's Christian roots? If there is such a thing, the story is that, well, yeah, we were a Christian nation when slavery was around, when women had no rights. Sure, we were a Christian nation when minorities were oppressed. Sure, we were a Christian nation when science and technology hadn't really boomed and before we had access to the information the way we do today. So Christianity is not only outdated and irrelevant, it's actually hindering to our progress. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like what our culture is trying to feed people and feed us today? You can be a Christian, but why are they so violently opposed to it? Because we're trying to progress. And you're being a hindrance to our progression. They have no regard for reality, though. The reality is that Christian abolitionists are the ones who abolish slavery. They have no regard for reality that Christian ideas, like the equal value of all people, led to the freedom from oppression. Or Christian thoughts, like there is a fixed, ordered universe, was the framework for all technology and science that we have today. So it's a narrative that we're telling ourselves. It's the story that we want to believe. Why? Because we can't find God for the same reason a thief can't find a cop. We are living, and this is your next fill-in, we're living in a post-Christian nation. And this is just, again, me asserting something that I believe. We're living in a post-Christian nation, a nation that used to be Christian. And we have people trying to hold on, oh, we're still a Christian nation. It's like, get over it, we're not. And it's okay. Christianity flourished in all kinds of wicked nations. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the kingdom, as they say, right? When Christians were persecuted is for some reason why the church flourishes most. I'm not praying for persecution. We pray for peace. We pray for that we be at peace with all men. But the fact of the matter is that it's hard to be at peace with someone who hates you. Post-Christianity, what is that? It's the loss of the primacy of the Christian worldview in political affairs, especially in the Western world where Christianity had previously flourished, in favor of alternative worldviews such as secularism or nationalism. So people who don't want to believe in God or people who really love our nation and we're trying to hold to our nation's ideas, so nationalism. So what we're doing, you guys got to think about this. If we are a post-Christian nation, we can't try to evangelize the same way we did when we were a Christian nation, where Christianity was the predominant assumed worldview. Because people don't assume that it's true anymore. So we're ministering to people who live in a culture that used to be Christian. Many of the old methods of church aren't working to reach people because they're not speaking to the same types of people. Now, people are naturally skeptical towards Christianity, and we have to be prepared to answer questions of their skepticism. We can't be blind to their questions. We can't be blind to their doubts and their insecurities and their issues. We have to know them. We have to address them in love. It does not mean they're going to like our answer. So I'm not saying like, hey, take this class and everybody's going to love the way you preach the gospel. That's not the point.